Hey, what's up guys? Pat the Trophy Hunter here and welcome to episode 2 of my Let's Play Gran Turismo 5 series. So in today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to complete the expert events of the AMG Driving Academy special event. So essentially this is the same event as the intermediate event, but in raining conditions. So what I did is I kept only my best runs for you guys. So if you enjoy the content, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. All right, so let's get this going. So special events, I completed the first 3 and beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So now we're going to tackle the expert. So for expert, same thing as the intermediate track or event, but you're in wet conditions. So you have the super powered SLG AMG 2010. So this car has a lot of power, and in wet conditions it can be a real problem to handle. So this section here, section 1, very tight first corners, an S-bend section immediately afterward, so you need to be careful. So this was attempt number 10. So I had a time of 140, 157, but the target was 140 flat. So I was almost there. So this is the first tight right-hander. Then you go all out until this little left-hander here, followed by that tight S-bend that we're talking about. And this here is where you screw up most of the time. Because when you step back onto the gas, the rear will just slip out from under you. And then after this right turn here and the little left one, then you're flat out on the gas for a good portion of this track until you get up that little hill where you're going to have a very sharp right hand turn and long also. That doesn't look that bad, but if you don't brake before you get to that top of that little hill, you're gonna end up in the grass. Then you're full throttle all the way up here, and you're almost at the end at this point. So you have to go down in 4th gear, back on the gas, and then down to 2nd gear here. Long right-hander, and then back on the gas for the finish line. And got 139.885 for the gold. So that was sector 1. Now, sector 2. So this was a bit longer and much faster. So not as technical, but there's a lot of very slippery corners in here, so you have to be careful. This one took me only 7 attempts. So I got silver on my 6th attempt, and then managed to get the gold time on attempt number 7. So what we're going to see here is attempt number 7. Alright, so you start where you left off after sector 1, and you're basically full throttle here for this little wavy section up until this point here. So you need to brake early here, get that left hand corner, and you see I messed up, got into the rail. But I was carrying quite a bit of speed and still in a straight line, so I decided to continue. After this little S here, you're going again full throttle. Now in dry condition, this next left-hand turn, you can take basically almost full throttle. You just lift up and a bit, but in wet conditions, if you don't brake, you're gonna end up in the grass. So from here, it's a succession of slow turns and fast turns. So you have a slow right-hander here, then you're full throttle out of the turn. Again, in dry conditions, you don't even lift off the gas for these corners. You just go through them. Then you have another slower right-hand turn. And this next one here is the tricky one. So you have to brake, a bit of trail braking as you're turning, and then get out of this little hairpin type corner. Again, full throttle to this one. And there's a tight right-hand corner here. And here, because of the angle, since you're going uphill, if you step on the gas too hard in wet conditions, you're gonna lose the rear. So you have to be careful with that one. And this next corner here, the last corner of this sector, you have to take super slow. So you need about 10 seconds from this point to the end. So if you're under 214, by the time you get to the end of this corner, you're gonna probably miss your mark. So here I was just barely with 223.891. The target was 224. All right, on to sector 3 now. So, sector 3 is the hardest section from what they say. Again, a lot of changes in gears, and you have to be extra careful as for each of those stages in the expert to not lose the rear. So this one took me 23 attempts. So this is attempt number 23. I had a time of 2:09.622 previously, which was my best attempt before this one. Target time was 2:09. It's a very fast first section. You could probably go through this corner, this succession of corners full throttle. But this one here, you need to lift off. Maybe even brake a bit. Then you're back on the throttle. This corner here, you could technically go full throttle on in dry conditions, but you do need to brake a bit. And then you're on to this very tight right-hander. And after that, you're gonna go into the carousel. Now the trick with carousel is to stay on this gray section here. I mess it up pretty bad here. But I'm still, I still feel I have a good time. So I'll continue. But technically, this one, the best approach, and you'll see it when we do the full lap, is to stick to that gray area and follow that banked curve. The tricky section here, where you lose the rear end quite often if you hit those red and white strips too hard. And then we're back again, full throttle. Come to this corner where you just need to lift off a little bit. You don't need to brake here, just go off the gas. And then here you want to go back on. There's a braking section here, a small braking section, just to slow down so you can go and get this uphill. And then this is your final left. And then there's going to be a right turn, very slow right-hand turn to the finish line. I was very tight on the time and didn't care about getting it like nicely done, so I just stepped on the gas and we got a 2:06 something. All right, on to sector 4 now, and this was the worst for me. Sector 4 took me 37 attempts. Sector 4 is super fast. You have this very long straight line near the end of the sector, and then a very, very tight combination of left, right, and right, kind of S's if you want. So our target time is 2:29. My best time so far was 2:32.06, about a second, a bit over a second slower than target time. So we're about half throttle here. Not going full throttle because way too slippery going into this corner. And there's a lot of up and down. So you see the track going up, down, up, down, up, down. This creates a lot of instability in the car. So you'll lose the rear end in straight sections just because of those little waves. Here, going left, and we're gonna have another left-hander. Again, here you want to stick to that gray area. I was off my line here, but had a good time, so I decided to continue on. Then you have a very, very long right-hand turn. This is not a good line. You try to stay out of the grass here. But I felt that was fast. So you want to be here pointing straight with about 1 minute of spare time. So I got here in about 1:28 something. So I felt confident that with 1 minute I would be okay. So this is about a 2 kilometer straight line. Now what's tricky about this section is that once you get to that kind of overpass or bridge, you have a slight left, which will get you into the grass on the right side if you're too quick into it. Then you have those right, left, and the right hander, very tight left one, and then extremely tight right corner to the finish line. So we have about 9 seconds. 2:27, 2:08, so about 2 seconds to spare. All right. So now to finish the AMG Driving Academy Expert, you need to do a full lap on the Nürburgring. So full lap is a combination of all 4 sectors. The target time is faster than the combination of the target of all 4 stages. So you need to be faster than what you've been able to do in individual sectors. So the target time is 8 minutes 30 seconds. I don't remember what my fastest time was at this point. I think we're going to see it in the final attempt. So full lap took me 26 attempts. So that will be attempt number 26. Okay, so I don't know what my best time was. I just know that this is going to be my gold attempt. And also on the full lap event, you have traffic, so there's cars on there. So I messed up this section here pretty bad, but I was like, you know what, let's continue on. I'm fast. Usually I don't overtake this car until I get to this point here, cutting through the grass. This is not the cleanest run. It's my fastest, but not my cleanest. Okay, again, into the grass here, and into the grass here. This is a really bad run, so don't take that line. It's not the fastest one. It was my fastest one, but not the correct line. Okay, so you want to try and overtake this dude before you get to this corner here. So I did that. So you have to benchmark yourself with the traffic. So basically, try to hit your target times. So for each sector, you're gonna see my target, my sector times. If you want to look at those, but you can also look at the cars that you're passing. So you want to try and pass this red car just after the sector end, right there. So 134, first sector pass, which is pretty good. Back into that fast section here. Braking uphill because you're going to go left pretty hard here. And then a kind of S curves. Try to pass this guy. There we go. And now back into a very fast section to that slippery left-hand turn. So you don't need to worry about contact or going off track in these events. It's not like in the license tests where you absolutely need to stick to the track and you can't hit any cars. In this special event, you can actually use the cars or the traffic as bumpers or to help you stick on the track, stay on track. I don't know if I used the other cars in this attempt, but there are some attempts where I would go into corners way too fast, knowing that I could kind of bump in one of the cars to stay on my line. But I'm not sure I did it on this one. Alright. So, going into Sector 3 soon. This is the end of Sector 2 with this uphill. Again, be very careful here when you step back on the gas so you don't lose the rear end. Brake early into this corner. And then very slow into this very long right-hand turn. And here, full throttle into a very fast section of the track into Sector 3. So sector 2 with 352.032. I think my target time was at 3:57. So I'm about 5 seconds faster than the target that I had set for myself. Alright. Slow down here. This one is also a slippery corner. Now, you're gonna run into traffic right here just before the tight right and the carousel. So ideally you want to get past this guy before reaching carousel because he's super slow. And carousel almost lose the rear end here. This guy's super slow into carousel, so you want to get past him. And you see, this is how you do it. You stick to that right, the gray area, follow it all the way through. It will carry you through the corner. If you have the right speed, it will just let you cruise through that corner. And you want to get rid of this dude before getting to the next corner because it's a tight left followed by a long right. And again, back in this little rolling hill type of section with a few not super hard corners on dry but very slippery on wet track. Alright, going uphill, then you're gonna have a left-right combination to the end of Sector 3. Now if you remember in my Sector 3 attempt, yeah, so we were going to Sector 4. I just like gassed and went through that finish line in the grass. You don't want to do that in this event because you need all the speed you can carry. And now I mess up this corner. I'm feeling good about my time, so and I'm still in a straight line, so I just carry on. Kind of a weird double right-hander. Now, this is a quick section. You can kind of go on the gas without touching the brakes here, especially. And here you're going to be braking hard. Try to stay on the right side of the track. I'm way too much to the left. If you're sticking to the right, you're going to have a much easier time to hit that corner. This corner here again, like a bit like carousels, try to stay in the gray area. I was way out of line, too much to the right. So, as for sector 4, you want to be about 1 minute ahead of your time. 7:24. My target is 8:30. I have 1 minute and 5 seconds to spare. Should be good, as long as I don't mess up that final technical section to the finish line. Now that little bridge, keep in mind you have a left turn going down, which will carry you into the grass if you're not careful. And left. Slow right. And then combination left to right. Very tight right turn. We have about 15 seconds. We have more than enough time. Now when you come out of that final right turn, you'll be tempted to just smash the gas down. Don't do that. You're going to lose the rear end and you're going to screw up your time. I did it multiple times where I had a very good run and I just messed it up. All right. So that was the gold on AMG Driving Academy Expert. So we get all the 3 prize cards for completing the event with bronze, silver, and gold. Let's have a quick look at those cards. And the trophy for completing the AMG Driving Academy. So you'll get that trophy if you complete the AMG Driving Academy with all bronze trophies. But if you're going for the platinum, you're going to need to complete it with gold. So first card we get the SLK 230 compressor. It's actually, I think it's the card for completing with all gold trophies. Okay, then we get the SL65 AMG. Awesome sounding car. And finally, the SLR McLaren. So this is it for the AMG Driving Academy on Expert. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Let's Play Gran Turismo 5 with Pat the Trophy Hunter. So I'll see you guys in episode 3 with the Gran Turismo Rally Beginner events.